Hey there folks. So this one's probably going to be a bit of a shorter episode. I just wanted to go through and clean up the last of the work we did on the inventory. One of the first things I want to point out that I want to work on, that I want to show that I want to work on is here. So if you open your inventory after you pick something up, you can see not everything is set up and working. So we're going to get this fixed. Now, where that comes about is if we look at this, do we have access to it here? No, it's edit defaults only. So if we edit the blueprint, up here, it comes about from item 1. So I'm going to select that and open it up. In here, you can see there's a lot of things missing. So first things first, I'm just going to put this as dev test item for its name and item to test inventory. Item type is going to be consumable. Slot is going to be none because it's not something you can equip. Max stack size, I'm going to say is 10. Let's find an icon. Do I have one? Let's see. We'll use the mushroom icon for now. Now, not everything is hooked in. Item decay, we don't have that. On destruction replacement, I'm going to get rid of that. We don't want anything in there. Max durability 100. Okay, so we're going to save that. And let's see what this does for our inventory component. Harvest that, open it up, and you can see this is working based off what we have. But drop isn't working. So let's take a look at that. That is going to be in our UI. Open that up. That's in our third person blueprint and our inventory widget. All right, so graph. Drop stack at index. That is coming back from our parent. So we go back to our parent, which is our main HUD. Take a look at that. And let's look at drop stack. Well, we just bypassed everything because we don't have an index anymore. So let's look at our code quickly. Where's that? There. So our inventory component, our new inventory component, I should say, remove item and int amount. So we need to account for that. So we're going to go remove item, which means our drop index needs to pass through an item. Well, do we have that in our inventory widget? Item data. Well, we don't have our actual item. Well, what's in our item data UI item data struct? Let's take a look at that. Okay, so we just have index name. Yeah, we don't actually have reference to the item. That's fine. What I want to do here is I want to take a quick look at our event graph. Where is it? Custom event. Temperature change, that's fine. Where is it? Refresh inventory widgets. There, that's the one. Okay, so in here you can see we're getting let's take a look at our code. Actually, I want to inventory component. Do we have public contents? Okay, so that's going to work how I want to do it. So get contents for each. Do we have that on our new items? Where's our contents? F inventory item. Go to definition. Let's take a look here. Okay, so this is all nested through. It's get UI data, but that is nested in item data. Okay, so no, okay, why are we not accessing to that? That's these are all public, edit anywhere, blueprint read only. Item data. It's a struct. There we go. Okay. That was why, because it was coming through as a struct. So let's clean this up actually for a second. And this takes item UI data, get UI data. I'm not worried about our index, so clear children. For each of these, we want to, so I'm just cleaning this up. Well, we're missing something here. So what we need is, let's see, what is it? I'm just going to do this remove item. Okay, so we need to pass through item data here into our widget. So we're going to add a variable, parent item, item data. I'm going to try a soft object reference, and we want this instant editable expose on spawn. Compile this. Oh, let's see. Failed to save. I've been running into this a little often recently. Where's that refresh? Refresh nodes. Is that going to work? Yes, that does. Okay. Get rid of this. For each loop, we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to compile. You're going to save for me. No, it's not. Yay. Alright, well, let's see if this makes at least still works. So run over, pick up the mushroom, open our inventory. Oh, I didn't hook up. Let's try that again. Okay, so that part is working. Let's get our drop to work now. Graph. Well, drop. Okay, so drop, stack, and index isn't what we want. We want to add a new function in. Drop item. Then, where is components? Remove item. And then we want to go refresh inventory widgets afterwards. Okay, so we'll compile and save this. Oh, what is drop item? Call that. And then I'm also going to put a valid. It's not going to save again. I have to figure out what that is. I might have to redo this between episodes, but now that's done. Let's see. Pick it up. Okay, well that part still isn't working, so let's go here and drop. Okay. Okay, that is valid, so let's go in, drop item. This failed. Okay. Remove item. Why is that not working? I bet it's the amount. That is item. Well, no, because that's not making sense. Pick this up, go over. I count as 1. Drop fails there, so in. That's a false. Okay, so here's something as a little trick. Debugging, attach to process. I'm going to move this out of the way because I have a lot of ones in there I don't want everyone to see, but I'm going to go Unreal. You can filter that through to your editor. Click attach. Now, this is going to take some time. It's going to load up a bunch of the PBD files and a bunch of other debugging information. And you can see that here. Symbol loading is disabled because it's certain things, but this does take a while. But what will eventually happen is once it's fully connected, this breakpoint will get hit. So I'm going to pause the video until this is ready to debug and we can figure out what's going on. Alright, so everything's loaded up there and this breakpoint should be hit. So let's give this another try. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. Get rid of that breakpoint, hit continue. And here we go. It's hit the breakpoint in Visual Studio. Now, as you've seen with my system in the past, things get a little laggy in Visual Studio. I'm not sure if this is because OBS is using certain resources that Visual Studio wants to use or anything like that. So you're not normally going to see this yourself. I don't normally see this. So go down. And this works. I think I know that the issue is the amount. Amount is 0. Okay. Just hit continue there. So let's take a quick look. I'm going to stop this. So in here, drop item, we are remove item. This is on the TFN inventory components. Let's go over to our code. Remove item. The item and the amount. Add item. Item and amount. What is different here? I know exactly what it is. This is something you may come across in blueprint functions. This being a reference. So I don't want to change these functions because I want them available at a code level to stay the same. So we're going to stop debugging. I'm actually going to close out of the editor, and we're going to make some code changes. So first and foremost, I'm getting rid of blueprint callable on both of these functions. Actually, I'm getting rid of U function on these completely. I'm going to cut that one out and move that one here. And we're going to add in two other ones. So U function bool BP add item, UTF and item data pointer item int amount. Actually, no, these need to be, if I remember correctly, these need to be integers, not bools, from when I ran into this before. So let's take a quick look at these at the code level. So yeah, okay, so these are going to be ints. We're going to add these in. And this is the same twice. It should be BP remove item because I'm special. Now there's various different ways you can do this, various different ways you can name these. I'm using BP remove item just because that's how I want to do it. So int amount equals amount, add item amount, return amount. So this one's pretty basic. All we're doing is no, these are, this isn't it. This isn't going to work either. I'm trying to remember it. There's a, I think it's a tag or something. Yeah, no, I think I've gone completely the wrong way with this one. So give me 1 second. I'm going to clean this up. Remove item. Get rid of these two. And it's here. I'm going to get rid of this. Copy these. Because, was it... U param. Oh, is it just ref? I think this is it. Okay, it needs to be added into the here. So put you in there and you in there. All right, I believe this is what I wanted. So let's do a quick build here. So I'm going to let this build, and I will be back once it's done, and hopefully back in the editor. All right, so we are back and in the editor, and you can see we now actually have an error. And that is because we're missing our amount pin. So you are item data object reference. Okay. Where there it is. Well, for this particular case, we're just going to do 1. So set a local variable, actually. I'm I'm just going to do int integer. This is going to have dragged out, get amount. Going to have a default value of 1 and pass that in. Did that not? Oh, that didn't save from the last episode. Last episode from the last part. Okay, let's go into the graph. Parent item. Item data. We're just going to use object reference. Instant edible expose on spawn. Compile. Okay, that compiles and saves. It's probably the soft pointer. Might have been the issue there. Right click, refresh the nodes, and drag you in. Parent item. Where is... item data. Okay, that is okay, so let's see if this works now. Now this is far from being okay, so oh yeah, never re-added the drop logic, did I? Oh, I hate when the engine does this. Drop, yeah. Okay, let's try this one more time. So pick that up, drop. Okay, so F10 to skip over things. I'll say this is going to take a moment to go through because I'm now actually running through Visual Studio. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back as soon as the Visual Studio is actually letting me work. Alright, like 3 seconds after I paused the recording it came up. So let's see, item amount. Well, we've already skipped through. So for int I, content num. Okay, so we're going past, we've got past this initial false. And now it's lagging again. Typical Visual Studio. Alright, so that's gone through. Okay, and then you can see our inventory widget is empty. So, this is far from pretty. This is far from anything I would expect to be viable in the terms of a working inventory system. All we were doing this episode is getting the widget to work again. Next episode, I'm going to go through and we're going to clean this up. We're going to get the additional logic we had in before. So let's take a look here. So we've got the use button. That is being right now controlled based off, is it equipable? Okay, fair enough. But it's using an item at index. Well, on here, we also have all of this really messy spaghetti that comes with using a blueprint setup for this. Let's get these cleaned up a bit. These are format strings. Yeah, you can see this is very, very messy. Where is it? That is equipable to set text on that. And that is the use button. That is being determined if it is equipable or usable. So, anyways, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. This episode, I just wanted to get the widget portion of things set up and working. The adding and dropping back to the inventory, we got that fixed. I don't like how this is being done. A lot of this is just really janky. And it doesn't break these quick because I don't want all these pins and lines everywhere. Anyways, like I say, getting sidetracked here. I don't like how this is set up here. We're going to need to redo a lot of this. But the first thing I wanted to do before redoing all of this is I wanted to make it work again. Because it was broken. Like, we couldn't add, we couldn't remove, well, we could add, but we couldn't remove items from an inventory, we couldn't drop things. So next episode, we're going to get this sorted out where we can we get the use logic working again. And then from there, we're going to, actually, I don't know what I'm going to next. And right now, as I mentioned in, I think it was my 5.6 release note review, I'm a little hesitant to move on to the equipment system because I need to look into MetaHuman and all the stuff that adds. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you got something out of it, go ahead and like, comment, or subscribe. It really does help the channel. If you want to take it a bit further, maybe become a member or try dropping a super. It's a solid way to support my work. Appreciate you sticking around, and I will see you in the next episode.